that far and you're listening. So I hope each and every one of you had a good day. I know that it can be difficult, especially trying to get everybody on one accord, especially after coming off of a long summer. So it can be kind of hectic. But anywho, Clayton goes back next week, and there is also Atlanta. So just hang in there. The traffic's gonna be crazy. So make sure you adjust your schedules for that. But I am so glad to be here. I am your host, as I said, Cassandra Parks, and just give you a little bit about me. I am here to give you a vehicle to a better relationship. I am also here to let you know that life is doable and easy and fun when you have a proper relationship. Just a little bit about me. I am a certified relationship and dating and intimacy coach. I am also a certified hypnotist. I have been doing this since 2008. I am a member of the IOC, which is the Institute of Coaches from McLean Hospital, which is an affiliate of Harvard University. I am also a member of the American College of Sexologists, and I am a proud member of the American Sexual Health Association. I am an ambassador there. So if you follow me on my private page or even my social media pages, Let's Learn Love on Facebook and Instagram, and Let's Learn Love, the number one on Twitter, you'll know that I am all about speaking safe sex and sexual health. So just some of my services are online dating profiles and rules, where and how to meet people, personalities to avoid, simple conversation starters, fun date ideas, dating rules, seminars and workshops on dating or relationships and intimacy, private coaching sessions, and I also am speaking at events. So if you have an event that has anything to do with relationships, look me up. I would love to come out and talk to you, no matter how far it is. I'll give you some information about some places that I'll be speaking a little bit later. But my contact information is you can always email me, let's learn love at outlook.com. You can always call me at 678-400-9673. Or you can always come out to my office, which is located in Fayetteville, or you can find me on the internet, which is letslearnlove.com. And if you missed any of my shows, what I have started doing is posting my old shows on my page. Yay! So if you missed any of my shows, feel free to be nosy and come and look around and find out what you can do to enhance your relationships. This is a call-in show, so if you have any questions, any statements, anything that you want to talk to me about, feel free to call me 404-361-1571. Again, 404-361-1571. And I would love to talk to you. I get callers from time to time, so please feel free to call me. And catch me at some of my events. I am going to be at Red Hills in the city. And our first stop is Augusta, and I will be there next month, the 23rd of September. I will also be going to West Palm for Red Hills in the city, Fort Lauderdale, Atlanta, Greenville, Charlotte, the DMV area, Norfolk. I am so excited about that. I am also going to be in the DMV area the 19th, the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st in the DMV area to hold seminars and workshops, and I'm so excited about that too, because I am doing that with a phenomenal woman named Tiffany. So if you're in the area, make sure that you look me up and come out and see me and talk and do all that stuff. So I know you're probably wondering, what is the show going to be about tonight? Tonight we're going to talk about dating and being single. Sometimes it is hard to date and also single at the same time, because you have children, you have to focus on their careers, but at the same time it is very, very difficult. So I understand it can be very, very tough. So at that point, I would say tune in and listen to some of the tips that I'm about to give. Okay, let's go through some things that I think that should not happen when you're a single. Usually single moms make these huge mistakes, and I'm just going to go through some of these and make sure that we don't do them, and how to avoid them, basically. I'm very big on avoiding things. I too am a single mother, and while I love being a single mom, it is definitely the single part that can be a challenge, especially if you're interested in dating and having some sort of a relationship. So, the last couple of years have been kind of difficult for me, especially after everything that was going on. But I have now got back out there, so it can be scary. It can be scary, but hopefully these tips will give you some way to kind of ease back into it. The first thing I would say is waiting too long to start dating again can be a big mistake. And re-entering the world of dating, of course, is not easy, especially when you've been alone for so long. So once you take time to recover from your previous relationship, whether it was a divorce or long-term relationship or anything, you might just want to try getting your feet wet. And what you do is you become overly comfortable in being single sometimes when you have been out of the dating realm too long. So when you're re-entering the dating world, it brings on a whole new set of complexities, which makes it more difficult to be more open to someone new and share your life. So it can be very hard. So instead of being trepidatious about it, start out slowly. One is safe, effective, and time efficient way to start out is to try online dating. So uh, once you're comfortable, you can set the pace and the tone and decide who's right for you for doing that. So that's the first thing I would say. Do not wait so long to get back out there. The second thing I would say is um, being exclusive too soon. And especially as a single woman, it can be kind of hard. I, as a dating coach, always encourage my clients to cast the net and date more than one person until talk of exclusivity arises. And I found that my divorce clients come from long-term monogamous relationships, and they they feel that they shouldn't be dating person one person more than a time. And dating more than one person allows you to compare and contrast and see who rises to the top almost. It also gives you an opportunity to date until you're ready to commit without being completely absorbed by one person. So it's always good to have, especially when you're starting out, have a majority of people that you can date to see what you want to do. If the idea, what you can do is if the idea of monogamy um, is too much for you, it should not be forced on one. So you should date more than one person to see if you have an opportunity to see who the ideal match is for you. Never assume that a person is in a committed relationship until you have had that discussion. Make sure that both parties are on board and that you know what's going on. Another thing I would say is a mistake for someone single that is dating too soon. I know this is a contrast of not being, in the dating game sooner, but dating too soon can also hurt you as well because it's a big mistake. Because it usually is always hard and fast rules when it comes to start dating, and the circumstances around your last relationship or may state your may make you how can I put it, emotionally not ready to date. So newly separated people should give themselves a full year. I know it sounds like a lot, but you should give yourself a full year to get used to being single before you start dating again. No matter what the circumstances are, You need time to reassess who you are and what do you want out of your future relationship. And in order to avoid jumping back into another bad relationship, you need to know who you are. So ideally, a newly separated person should wait until she or he feels adequate adjusted to separation and generally happy in their independent life before they bring someone else into the picture. So like I tell people all the time, you have to be whole and 100% before you go into a relationship, because if you're not giving your 100% into a relationship, if you're only giving 50 and they're giving 50, that's still going to leave you 50%, guys. So if you're going to be in another relationship, you want to make sure that you're whole. And I also tell people all the time too that a person should complete you. They should compliment you, excuse me, not complete you. I'm going to say that again because I messed it up. They should compliment you and not complete you. You should already come to the relationship whole and complete. You should know what you want out of life. You should have goals. And if that person feels in with that, that's wonderful. But make sure that you are a whole person before you get into a relationship. Okay, another one that happens is becoming intimate too soon. And this is a rough one because many of my clients personally have the false conception that, intimacy is a part of dating, and believe that no person would be willing to wait to be intimate, or perhaps before a long time since you've been intimate with someone and you're craving that connection. And they fail to realize that the act of the intimacy will bond them emotionally, but it may not make them a matching relationship. Oh, excuse me. So just slow down until you're ready. If you want to take an emotional connection to the next level, trust your judgment and make sure you're a good match. And if you're a good match, they'll wait for you. And you don't have to feel stuck again in another bad relationship. So my last one before we go to break is introducing your kids too soon. And this one is very big for me because it can be a danger hazard, especially if you find out that you're in a bad relationship. So as a single mom, me personally, I want to know that my prospective mate can interact with your kids well, but making an introduction to them too soon can be a tricky situation. So introducing your children too soon can set a stage for a modern tragedy if it doesn't work out. So not only will you be hurt as the parent, but the kids will be as well because they have gotten used to that type of person. So it can be very hard. One person that I actually gave advice to said that they waited as long as possible before introducing their kids to their potential boyfriend, and they never made an intro around the holidays. It gets the holidays should be, if you're dating somebody, unless you've introduced them before, should be kind of the kids' time. So make sure that you do it at a time that is not competing with something that is very important with the kids. And what you should do is time is always the best measure for knowing when to introduce your kids. Traditionally, men view the introduction of kids as a big step. So make sure that you have talked about exclusivity. Make sure that both of you all have the same vision for your future or your relationship. And then once you have introduced everything, you can introduce your kids. So I am going on break. So this is Less More Love. I'm your host, Cassandra Parks, and we'll be right back. Hi guys. Let's see who's doing. Trish, I love you. Hey Regina. Hey Cassandra. Hey David and Maurice and Angela, my family. And let's see who else I got up there. It rolls up so fast, I can't see y'all. Oh, Lord, I can't see y'all. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you share. Hey, Leslie. I'm very thankful that you all have joined in. I am talking. I didn't get a chance to type my subject. I'll type it in when I get finished. But I'm talking about single parent and dating. Sometimes it can be very, very, very tricky. So I gave some mistakes that people do a lot. So I'm gonna try to just some general dating tips now as far as getting it back started again. So I'm glad that you're here again. Please share, comment. If you have any questions, make sure that you send them to me through Messenger, because sometimes I can't see that because I'm reading my notes. So thank you. So yeah, if you can. If you have anything, if you want to call in, 404-361-1571, just let me know, and I will get to you as soon as possible. So I'm not here jamming. They playing the system. Y'all just don't know. I used to love this song when I was younger. But I know, right? I'm like, hey, I'm over here jamming. Y'all don't know how I feel about the system. But my engineer, she's in there laughing at me dancing. But yeah, so we're talking about dating, single parents. I was going to do another topic, but I changed it because I think I have a guest that's going to come in and discuss that with me. So hang the sign up on the door. It said, don't disturb this groove. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm up here clowning. But yeah, good to see y'all. I will be going back on in, oh, she's taking a phone call. I guess she's gonna let the song play out. But yeah, so I hope, I'm gonna be talking about back to school anxiety and tips to get you back going for back to school, whether you're good, you're bad, the ugly about it. So make sure that well, I'll post them on the Let's Learn Love page. I had a couple of questions about that earlier this week, how to reduce anxiety for kids. So I will post some tips on that, and then I will also do a show on that. I forgot about that. So I will do that. And then when we come back from break, I'm going to give you some best practices dating as a single parent. So I talked about 5 of them already. I'll go a little bit more on another side in case you don't understand and listen. So, all right. Hang your sign up on the door. I said, don't disturb this room. Y'all, I'm so excited because I got some mail today, and I know y'all don't really care, but I'm just trying to fill in time. And I got one of my favorite credit cards in the whole wide world to up my limit. No, I'm not going to go crazy because I've been working hard on my credit. That's one thing that we're going to talk about too, is financial stability and relationships, because that is a big problem with guys. So we're going to be talking about that too. So I guess we're going to write it on out. But yeah, we're going to be talking about that too. It's going to bring me in 30 seconds. I guess she jamming too. And we're back. We're back. This is Let's Learn Love. I'm your host, Cassandra Parks. This is WIGO 1570 Radio. If you have any questions, we're talking about dating and the single parent. So if you have any questions, feel free to call in at 404-361-1571. Again, 404-361-1571. Before we left on our break, oh, I'm sorry, that was the System Don't Disturb This Groove. I must mention that. I forgot. That is like one of my favorite all-time songs too. So anyway, I'm dating my age now. Oh, that was, anyway. But, thank you for listening to me and supporting me weekly. It really is really something for me. I'm just thankful. But we're talking about dating and single parents, and I'm just giving some tips. I had a question about that earlier this week, so I said I would talk about it for you. So what you have to realize too when you're dating and you decide to go to the next step, you're not just forming a relationship at this point, you're actually creating a family. And single parents, that's why the tips that I gave you, the huge mistakes that I gave you earlier are so big, because you are potentially creating a family. So when the kids, predate dating, the couple's relationships inherently creates competing attachments. And when you choose to be with a dating partner or children, generally means that one or the other is sometimes left out waiting. So wondering how their relationship with you is going to be influenced by the relationship of the other. So you must make everybody feel secure in the situation. You must tell them, you make time for them, you make time for your children. And I always say this, and people get mad at me, but if you are in a relationship with somebody who has children, you cannot be jealous when they are with their children. You just can't. How is that humanly possible? And you can't not like somebody's children. It's a package deal. I tell people all the time that date me, if you're dating me, you're dating my kids. I know your children. If you have some, you know mine. You may not have met them yet, but you know that they are an integral part of my life. Especially for me, I have a special needs child, so it's very important for me that you understand my practices with my children. So just that being said, if someone is off-putting about your children or anything like that, it's not going to last, because your kids are with you forever. So you should always know that. Avoid a quick turnaround. This is a pet peeve of mine. A lot of people, well, it kind of goes hand in hand to one of the tips that I gave earlier about, going in too quickly. Make sure that you give yourself time to get yourself together, and not keep introducing your children to different people often. And that's why I always tell people to take it easy when you have children and letting them be somebody that you're dating. You have to make sure that they're going to be around. You have to make sure that you're stable and your thing is solid before you introduce the children, because introducing children can be again, detrimental if you break up and they really like the person. Children's attitudes, emotions, and feelings are a whole lot different than adults. So while we're grieving, they're grieving as well. So you have to keep that in remembrance. Make sure that you're healthily dating with a self-examination. And what that means is smart singles take a long time to look in the mirror before dating. They examine their emotions for dating, their fears, the loneliness, the unresolved hurt. How do you know you're ready to date? When do you know you don't need to? So, make sure that you do a healthy examination within yourself when you start to date. And it's very, very important that you do that. Engage in what if conversations. Even before you're dating, single parents begin a series of conversations with their children that ask, what if I began dating again? How would you feel about it? And, periodically they'll engage in the conversation again and again. And, you'll say, what if, I'll do it from God's perspective. What if Sarah and I began dating regularly? Or what if John's kids came over every Friday through the summer? Or, what if he and she were to get engaged, how would you feel about it? Each dialogue is both assessment, which means that how my kids feel about these possibilities and realities, and intervention as well, because it prepares them for what might happen. Smart single parents don't let their children's emotions dictate their dating process, however. They do listen and give serious consideration to how the children are feeling about you two becoming a couple. Whether you become a family is up to them as well, because it's kind of a cohesive thing. Like I said, you can't have one without the other. So make sure that you're listening to them and engage in these conversations throughout your dating experience, especially in the anticipation of each stage of a developing relationship, so you can kind of gauge in your kids' lives and see how they feel about different things. Offer a softer invitation to older kids. And what that means is teens and adult children need to move forward your dating partner as their own pace, because if you set an agenda to get them to accept your partner and relationship, literally you might be shooting yourself in the foot, because instead make opportunities to get to know them, so they can know your partner, but don't force it. Soft invitations such as I'll be having dinner, and so and so is coming over with me on Saturday. Are you up to joining us? Would you like to join us? It not only does it show respect and allow relationships to develop at their own pace, but it also allows them to get acclimated to the whole experience of you dating. So let's see. Acknowledge and label your children's fears. And this is a huge one. I'm going to wrap up on this. Make sure that you acknowledge your kids' fears, because children of all ages, young to old, benefit when when a parent says, I can see that the idea of dating scares you, and I know you are missing your mom, your dad, our family or whatever, but I don't and possibly don't want any more changes to our family. I can get it, but I appreciate you being honest with me, but at the same time, you need to let them know that their fears are not going to validate and dictate your relationship. So make sure that you let them know that you hear them, but you need to come up with solutions to keep communication door open, so you're not putting a label on your child's emotions, but you also know what's going on. So let's see. I'm gonna squeeze another one in. Pace and balance your dating. If you fall in love, don't abandon your children. A lot of people do this. Don't abandon your children by spending all your free time with your newfound partner. It's tempting, I know, but doing this taps into your child's fears that they're going to lose you and give a false impression to your dating partner that you're totally available to them, and you're not. So don't lose your balance. Make sure you keep it with your children. Make sure you keep it with your new partner as well. And my last little tip I'm going to slide in is make sure that you arrange your meeting time with care. Early on, your kids may meet, don't make sure that you refer to them as your friend. And when you do that, make sure that you call them your date. Casual introductions are fine when you're dating someone, but don't be preactive and put your kids and the person together until you're pretty sure that the responsibilities of the relationship have been determined. So, as that, I will say I'm wrapping up another lovely night. I'm so appreciative to all my Facebook people. I do this Facebook Live, so I just want to say thank you for checking me out. Thank you for sharing me. Thank you for doing all that. Real quick, what if the child wants to get back with their parents? You need to let them know that it's not a high possibility that you're moving on, and that you are, but you hear and you listen to them, but you need to let them know it's not going to happen. So, I thank you all for joining me. This has been Let's Learn Love on 1570. This is your vehicle to better relationships. I'm your host, Cassandra Parks, and make sure you check me out next Monday from 7 to 7:30. And make sure you call in 404-361-1571 and check out our other personalities here on WIGO. We have a fantastic station, so we have a lot of good shows, so make sure that you check us out. And with that, I would say good night. All right, guys, thanks. I see that you all left, so I will finish this up and post it. I appreciate you highly for looking. Talk to you later. Bye.